Alright, so the final thing we're going to do for this lesson is exit for, exit do, and exit sub commands. So these are actually extremely useful when working with looping or just in general when working with sub procedures. So exit for and exit do are both statements useful in looping to jump out of a loop while the loop has yet to completely finish. Now this might be useful if you're actually wanting to do some type of sorting mechanism. So let's say you're making a sorting where you're sorting like some array, for example, and you find, wait, we actually ended up sorting this whole thing completely. Then you might want to use an exit for and exit do depending on how you set up your sort looping. They're particularly useful when the condition is met and then jumping out. So I like to use exit for and exit do and exit sub based upon if statements as well. So this is what you'll actually do. You'll use exit for when you're working with for each loops and for loops. You will use exit do when working with do while or do until loops. And finally, use exit sub just to jump out of the sub procedure altogether. I particularly like to use exit sub when I'm using larger projects and I want to put error handling at the very bottom of my sub procedure. I would then like to use exit sub to just skip that altogether when my normal process is run without there being an error. So I'm going to do a quick example of these real quick. Just kind of showing you from our past examples how this actually works. So right now I have this example here. You can see down here, Panda 1, Panda 2, Panda 3 is what I named my sheets. But let's call this Koala instead. If I actually run through this, but I actually put an exit for right here, I step through my code, and once it gets to the statement, completely just skips whatever I'm doing. So completely just does not run any of this part right here, and it just moves out. We can also say, let's say if index is greater than 2, then exit for. So you can see index here, add 1 to it, not greater than 2 yet, so it's changing the name to koala. Change the name to koala, but now index is 3, which is greater than 2, so now it's going to exit 4, so we didn't change the rest of our worksheet names. Now this works kind of the same way with for loop examples. I can just put an exit for right here, and you can see where before it filled up our entire array. It's just jumping right out. Finally, with do while, do until loops, actually now finally we have to do exit sub still. We're going to say exit do, and actually we'll just change this real quick to y equals y plus 1, just so you can actually see that. Y is right now empty, completely exits, nothing happens. Finally, just doing for posterity, exit sub, go down here, jumps completely out of the sub procedure.